Shalom, Kal Halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Kadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us this truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word in truth and in sincerity. I'm the brother Yahshua. I'm back with, this is called the Third Woe Update, or the World War III Update. All right. And we'll start it out by identifying the three world wars that are in the Bible. All right. This is Revelation 9 and 12. The word woe means destruction. All right. And in this case, it means war. All right. So Revelation 9 and 12. One woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. All right. So during this time in Revelation 9, this is all of this is describing, okay, sound of chariots and many horses running. All of this is describing World War I. Okay. And then after this, it comes down here and says, the First World War is over, and behold, there come two wars after that. All right. So now we jump to 11. It's Revelation 11 and 14. And now this is the end of the Second World War. Okay. Second woe is past, and behold, the third woe. The Third World War comes quickly. All right. So in Scripture, these are the three world wars. All right. And how do we know? Everything was written from the end to the beginning. All right. So everything that is going to happen in the world is contained in the Scriptures. All right. You should be able to find it in there, but it's cloaked in secrecy, dark sayings, parables, metaphors. You got to be able to, have the spiritual eye salve to be able to see. All right, so let's go into, well, this is World War III here. Let's get Joel real quick. And the same scriptures are going to come out. We're just, keeping you updated with headlines and what they're going to show, what they are or are not going to show in the headline, in mainstream media, and then what is being put out there by some of these channels that actually keep you abreast of what's going on worldwide as far as this war is concerned, all right? So it's Joel 3, and start at 2. I will also, and I is the Most High, right? It says, the Lord judges the nations. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. We will look at a couple of different versions. Okay. It says, I will gather all nations, bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is pronounced Yahweh Shaphat in the ancient Hebrew. There will I put them on trial for what they did to my inheritance, my people Israel, all right? The true Israelites, not the people down in the land of Israel right now. Those are not the Israelites. Those are the Israelis, and those are Edomites, all right? All right, so and I will enter into judgment with them there. There I will judge them for harming my people, right? My special possession. Let's see. That's good. All right, let's watch a couple of videos and get some current events going on here. Let's see. Gun church. Where did I have this? Truck strikes. Okay, let's go back here. We'll go to Deep Journal first. Okay, 2 hours ago, 17 hours, 1 day. All right. Okay, so this is the channel Deep Journal. And Deep Journal has a sister channel called Deep Journalist. Okay. This is a day ago, and we haven't done a war update for the last 2 days because we don't do it on the weekend. We let some things transpire so we can report on it, all right? So this video is called Breaking News. Russian plane crashed. Why did a Russian plane crash? Was it shot out of the sky because there's a war going on? Most likely, all right? This one, breaking news, 17 drone attacks just after U.S. warning, Iran attack more violently. What else? Can the U.S. win? All right. So, drone attacks, 17 drone attacks. This sounds like a war. All right. Do people understand there's a war going on under your nose, even though it hasn't been declared, which they're going to have to in a minute because the fighting everywhere between air, sea, and land. These explosions, right, in these different countries, they can't be ignored, all right? This one, 2 hours ago, breaking, big shock to China, Russia, and Iran. These are allied, China, Russia, and Iran. It says, U.S. Navy massive explosion experiment, okay? Which, if we watch this, what it's going to point to is some nuclear sub got annihilated down there. Let's watch a little bit of
to test the warship in the full
audience.
The U.S. Navy used 40,000 pounds of explosives to test the warship in the full ship shock trial. An explosive of this magnitude created a 3.9 magnitude earthquake off the Florida coast. Is it a periodic exercise that this military show of strength, which attracts great attention, is held on Friday, June 18th? Is it a coincidence that the U.S. Navy shock test came exactly when Vladimir Putin met President Joe Biden, the G7 crisis with China, the day of the Iranian presidential elections?
Okay, so I could be wrong about a sub getting destroyed, but what we do see is the flexing of muscles, right, which is a prelude to the greater war.
The conflict between China and Taiwan and the USA in the South China Sea was inflamed. Is this test performed by the U.S. Navy just a routine? Or is it a serious threat to its rivals Iran, Russia, and China? Now let's examine the details together. The United States Navy has been carrying out full ship shock trials off the country's east coast. The 40,000 pounds, 18,143 kilograms, explosion was detonated as part of a test to assess the aircraft carrier, USS Gerald R. Ford's ability to withstand battle conditions. The U.S. Geological Survey registered the explosion as a 3.9 magnitude earthquake. At statement made by official website on U.S. Navy military on Friday, June 18, the USS Gerald R. Ford, CVN-78, successfully completed the first scheduled explosive event as part of full ship shock trials, FSST, announced.
Okay, now we happen to know that off the East Coast, which is the Atlantic Ocean, we know that there are Russian subs out there. Okay? Now, when this guy goes to meet with Putin, right, they're letting him know, hey, don't be out here in our waters. Don't get up close to us. All right? And that's an act of, it's a threat. It's not an act of war, but it's a threat. All right, so let's get some more. Let's look at the sister channel, which is Deep Journalist. Let's see what is new on the horizon here. Okay, 21 hours. This is one day. One day. Okay, this says breaking news: IDF, Israeli Defense Federation, on fire. Okay, it says Netanyahu still plans. What? I thought that guy was replaced. See, so we're staying up on the current event. Plans to topple government, and Israel will discuss Iran. That's kind of interesting there, but we won't go into it. 2 days ago, heavy impact to Iran. What is this? Israeli army attacks Syrian outpost. Let's see. Okay. Israel launches second airstrike. All right, so the fighting has resumed, as we know already. The ceasefire in Israel is defunct. Right, this is 1 day ago. Breaking news: ethics chief slams Joe Biden for what? For illegally hiring kids of top aides. Okay, that sounds like politics there. Here, 21 hours ago, breaking. Russian military blocked U.S. military patrol. Signals new war. Many conflicts. All right. Breaking. Iran's nuclear power plant emergency. Shut down right after Israel warns new Israel attack. So you can see, all right, it's going down in both of these countries. And all of them. All of them are having these great explosions to these nuclear plants, these petroleum plants. It's happening here in the United States too. This one says breaking missile attack on U.S. air base. That's got to be in Iraq. All right. New Iran president greets USA, lost in preparing for Russia. Okay. All right, so we're going to keep this short. You guys can go to Deep Journalist and look into any of these. Let's take a look at this real quick.
Guaranteed, no next but
These commercials, boy.
Again in Syria, where silent to our channel, you can follow our independent comments on the latest news. Tensions may rise again in Syria, where silence has prevailed for a while. The positive atmosphere prevailing in the meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and US President Joe Biden in Geneva, Switzerland, was dissipated by the sound of the armed conflict in the countryside of Idlib in northwest Syria.
Okay, so what's going on is, in the past years, past 4 or 5 years, the war has been concentrated in Syria. And when I say the war, the greater war between, this is a proxy war, meaning Russia is there, Israel is there, the United States is there, fighting through, their allies or their proxies, if you will. All right. But now it's expanded outside of that. Now Israel is fighting Iran. Israel is fighting everybody in the greater area. Okay, Iran is fighting Israel through Syria. Those types of things. Now Iran is sending missiles right over or right around Syria, trying to strike Israel. And they haven't quite declared war yet, but it's coming, is the point. All right, let's watch a little more.
This was indicative of a relapse of armed conflict after 10 years. In addition, on June 20, 2021, there was tension between the US and Russian patrols in Syria. Iran.
There it is right there. U.S. and Russian patrols in Syria. So who's really over there fighting? This is the greater war, okay? This is Russia fighting against the United States and the United States allies, which is Israel, okay? Great Britain, all right? Look at the different countries down here. You got Russia, you got Iran. All right, I thought this was Syria. What is this? Okay, okay. Anyway,
News agencies, on the other hand, claim that U.S. forces in the region have made suspicious movements on the Iraq-Syria border in the last 2 days. On the other hand, Turkey's recent establishment of military points close to the contact lines to fight the regular forces, which have shifted
so that's Turkey.
most of their forces to the southern countryside of Idlib, is interpreted as a harbinger that the war in Syria will continue. The fact that the U.S. oil companies in Syria, which were supported during the Trump era, cannot find support from the Biden administration also causes the U.S.'s aims in the region to be questioned again. Let's start to examine the details of the recent tensions in Syria together. The Russian military blocked the movement of an American military patrol in the area of Syrian telephone Tamra. U.S. troops moved without notifying the Russian side, simultaneously with suspicious patrols and moves by U.S. forces on the Iraqi-Syrian border.
Okay, so what we're looking at, okay, here's Israel down here. This is the valley of Jehoshaphat. Okay, and Jehoshaphat, okay, where you get Jehoshaphat is where you get Jehovah, and the actual name is Yahweh, and then Shaphat is the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. Shaphat means judgment. Yahweh means that's the name of the Most High God. All right, so this is where God is gathering all of the armies of the earth so he can pass judgment on them. For what? For what they did to his people, Israel, not the people over here in this land. They're part of it. They're down here too. Okay? I'm going to tell you who's not going to be down here. Okay? Or who's not represented here are the children of Israel. Now, in these different like, for example, the United States, you got Israelites fighting for this nation, okay? But that's not, it doesn't represent the Israelites at all. It's hiding who the Israelites are, all right? But what we see here is all the troops being gathered in what you call the Middle East, which is where the Most High is going to judge those people for what they did to his people. All right? Because all of these people had a hand at, enslaving and destroying the children of Israel. All right? So let's get out of there. And let's go back one. And we'll look at Secret Files 333 real quick. The Secret Files channel. Secret Files 333. Let's see what's happening lately. Okay, so this is a day ago. Israel struck back by destroying dozens of Iranian military sites in Syria. See how they're fighting? They're using this as the battle. They're using Syria as the battleground. But the Most High is the one that has them down there fighting. Okay. 3 Iranian submarines went missing. This is a day ago. Iran's nuclear power plant undergoes emergency shutdown. See, and this isn't the same channel as the other ones. This is something wholly different. And their videos are only like a minute long. I like that about this channel. There we got 144. Call hello Yahweh Shem El Shabbat Shem Kakadash. All right. Okay, so, and apparently Israel is drawing out Hamas. Why Hamas didn't retaliate against Israel's latest airstrikes. All right, so not only Hezbollah, wait, Salakia, where's Hezbollah? Okay, because here, right here, Israel destroys Syrian outposts used by Hezbollah. Okay, who is Hezbollah? Who is Hamas? Okay, who are these people fighting against? They're fighting all around them. Okay, and all these people are being drawn into the greater war. The greater war being World War III, which is going to happen in that area, the Valley of Jehoshaphat. Okay, 18 hours ago, top Israeli military official warned about renewed fighting with Hamas. All right, rocket targets Iraq base hosting U.S. troops. Can you see this warfare? This is World War III. They're just not saying it. What is this? California Edward Hyatt Power Plant, the first power plant for the first time. What happened? It shut down? It says, shut down for the first time since whenever. Why is it shut down? For the first time since it opened in 1967. Okay? Well, this has to do with your energy and your electricity. So what do? Before you start the hot war, right, you have to weaken the infrastructure of the country you're going to war with. All right? How did it shut down? Why did it shut down? You got, and I'm not saying that, I'm just throwing it out there. You got sleeper cells. All right, you got people that came across the border because the borders are open and porous. And they came with a mission. Then they form up, they get the necessary materials to go and create something like this, or a cyber attack, or whatever. Okay? This is asymmetric warfare going on right here. What is this? Israel hit by more arson balloons. Yeah, right. Okay, so if this is true, then whoever's doing it is doing whatever is necessary. Well, we're going to take some helium and some balloons and tie some explosives. Look at that. And this could be just propaganda, which is war. All right? So let's get a couple of precepts. We'll go ahead and close out. This is Matthew. Spell it wrong. Matthew 24 and what? Let's get wars and rumors of wars. And ye shall hear, this is Matthew 24 and 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. We got to go through this. It's not going nowhere. All right, let's get a couple of different versions. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, okay? And you will hear of wars and threats of wars, but don't panic. Okay? It is going to happen that this is Aramaic Bible in plain English. It is going to happen that you are going to hear battles and reports. This word rumors goes back to this word reports. And reports of wars. That's what this is. This is a report. Okay? Take heed that you will not be troubled, for it is necessary that these things should happen. But it will not be the end, will not yet be the end. So we got, hey, great things are about to happen. It's not going to be pretty. You'll soon hear about wars and threats of wars. You're going to hear the noise of battles close by and the news and the news of battles far away. All right. And ye shall begin to hear of wars and reports of wars. All right, so that's what this is. All right. Let's get Joel 3 again and we'll close it out. We're going to do this every day. Bring the updates just to let you know, hey, it's going on. It's not going away. It's going to intensify. All right. Because the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, is doing it. All right. Joel 3 and 9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I'm strong. All right? Let the heathen be weakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, the Middle East. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision, the valley of Jehoshaphat, the valley of God's judgment. All right? All right, so until tomorrow, hope that the elect are edified. With that, we're going to say shalom.